One High Lord would burn the world to protect her. The other would destroy it to set her free. And standing between them was Fire, a human girl trapped between love, power, and a fate that could change Prythian forever. This is a court of thorns and roses. Fire is brave, stubborn, and willing to sacrifice everything for the people she loves. But one decision in the forest changes her life forever. Tamlin, High Lord of the Spring Court, seems cold and dangerous at first, but behind the curse, he's lonely, protective, and slowly falling for Fire. Rysand is powerful, mysterious, and impossible to trust. But whenever Fire is breaking, he's always there watching her. Lucien hides his pain behind sarcasm and sharp jokes. But over time, he becomes one of Fire's closest allies. Amarantha is the cruel queen who cursed Prythian. And to stop her, Fire must survive deadly trials that could destroy her completely. In a frozen forest where survival means everything, Fire Archeron hunts alone to feed her starving family. Cold, exhausted, desperate. Then she sees it, a giant wolf watching a deer from the shadows. Something about it feels wrong, dangerous, almost human, but Fire can't risk it. So with one ash arrow, she kills the wolf, without realizing that single shot is about to destroy the life she knows forever. Back home, nothing feels warm. Her sisters barely thank her. Her father says nothing, and while everyone eats the food Fire fought for, she silently carries the weight of keeping him alive. Deep down, she dreams of painting again, of living instead of surviving. But dreams don't matter when hunger comes first. One night, everything changes. A terrifying beast crashes into their cottage. Massive claws, sharp teeth, golden eyes burning with rage. It demands justice for the wolf Fire killed, because the wolf wasn't an animal. It was a faerie, and according to the treaty, Fire must pay the price. To save her family, she leaves with the beast, believing she may never return again. The beast transforms into Tamlin, High Lord of the Spring Court. And Fire enters a world unlike anything she imagined. Golden sunlight, endless gardens, magic everywhere, beautiful, but unsettling. Because beneath all the beauty, something feels deeply wrong. Everyone in the Spring Court wears masks they cannot remove. Tamlin avoids every question, Lucien hides behind sarcasm, and the entire court feels trapped beneath a silence no one wants to explain. Fire realizes this place isn't just magical. It's cursed. Slowly, Fire begins to breathe again. For the first time in years, she isn't starving. She walks through gardens, sleeps in warmth, feels peace she forgot existed. And little by little, Tamlin's kindness begins breaking down the walls around her heart. When Tamlin gives Fire paint supplies, something inside her awakens again. The girl who loved colors, who once dreamed of creating beauty instead of fighting for survival. Painting becomes her escape, a reminder that maybe there's still a part of her worth saving. As days pass, Fire and Tamlin grow closer. He shows her music, takes her riding across the Spring Court, protects her from dangers she doesn't understand. And somewhere between laughter and quiet moments, Fire falls in love, even though loving him feels dangerous. During the Great Rite, Fire finally sees how wild fairy magic truly is. The night burns with power and danger. Tamlin becomes distant, almost consumed by something primal. And for the first time, Fire realizes this magical world could destroy her just as easily as it enchanted her. Deep in the forest, Fire captures the mysterious Suriel, and it tells her terrifying truths. About darkness spreading across Prythian, about a cruel queen named Amarantha, and before disappearing, the Suriel gives Fire one warning. Stay with the High Lord. While traveling alone, Fire is hunted by a horrifying creature called the Bog. Fear consumes her as the monster closes in through the darkness. And just when she thinks she's going to die, Tamlin saves her, but the attack leaves Fire shaken. Because now she understands, Prythian is far more dangerous than she ever imagined. After everything they've been through, Fire and Tamlin finally stop hiding their feelings. Their first kiss is soft, emotional, and filled with everything left unsaid between them. For the first time in a long time, Fire feels truly happy. But happiness doesn't last. The curse over the spring court grows stronger. Creatures become more violent. Fear spreads everywhere. And Tamlin begins pulling away from Fire, carrying a burden he refuses to explain. Knowing danger is coming, Tamlin makes the hardest choice of all. He sends Fire back to the human world. Not because he stopped loving her, but because he's terrified of losing her. And Fire leaves heartbroken, believing she's been abandoned. Back home, Fire finally understands everything. The curse, the deadline, the reason Tamlin pushed her away. He loved her enough to let her go. And realizing that changes everything. Because now Fire knows, she has to go back and save him. Alone and terrified, Fire crosses back into Prythian. Not for survival this time. For love. And willingly walks into the darkness beneath the mountain where Amarantha rules. Amarantha is cruel, powerful, and terrifying. She offers Fire a choice. Complete 3 deadly trials, or solve a riddle. If Fire fails, Tamlin and Prythian remain trapped forever. Fire is thrown into a deadly labyrinth with a giant monster hunting her underground. No powers, no weapons, no help, only fear. But instead of strength, Fire survives using intelligence. And for the first time, the court begins seeing her as more than just a human girl. Then comes Rysand, dangerous, charming, impossible to understand. He helps Fire in secret, even while pretending to be Amarantha's ally. And every time he appears, Fire realizes there's far more hidden beneath his mask than anyone sees. The second trial attacks Fire's mind instead of her body. 3 fairies, 3 levers, 1 wrong choice means death. Fear nearly destroys her, but with Lucian secretly helping from the shadows, Fire survives again. After being brutally injured, Fire is dying. And Rysand offers her a bargain. 1 week every month with him at the night court, in exchange for saving her life. Desperate to survive, Fire accepts. And a magical bond forms between them forever. Throughout the trials, Tamlin barely speaks. He watches silently while Fire suffers. And even though she knows he loves her, his silence hurts more than the monsters ever did. The final trial is the cruelest of all. Fire is forced to kill innocent fairies to break the curse. And every stab destroys a piece of her soul. The pain, the guilt, the horror, it nearly breaks her completely. At the last possible moment, Fire finally understands the answer to Amarantha's riddle. Love. But she realizes it too late. Amarantha snaps Fire's neck before everyone. And just like that, everything goes silent. Tamlin finally breaks free from the curse and kills Amarantha in pure rage. But Fire is already gone. The High Lords gather around Fire's body. One by one, they give pieces of their power to save her. And Fire is reborn as High Fae. No longer fully human, no longer the same girl she once was. Amarantha is dead. The curse is broken. Prythian is finally free. Fire and Tamlin reunite, but nothing feels simple anymore. Because Under the Mountain changed Fire forever. And even though she survived, part of her never truly escaped the darkness she endured there.